Hello, you amazing ladies. I'm Megan Baxter, and today we are going to talk all about your Facebook stories. Now, I know there are numerous platforms, all of which have a stories or stories type feature to them, but each platform's algorithm is so wildly different from the next that I don't want this to become confusing. So for this video, I'm going to only talk about your personal Facebook stories, not the story attached to your business page, the story attached to your main profile, right? Stories they're one of my favorite attributes to Facebook. They're a quick post, right? You do not have to write out these 165 character masterpiece posts. You don't have to stress about trigger words for the algorithm that are going to get you suppressed. They don't take a lot of thought. They aren't a production to make, right? You're not filming like when it's a reel. They're simple. They're so simple. They're like these little snapshots into your behind the scenes, really, into little glimpses, like we talked about with your main wall of who you are, right? Are you out and about in the day? Did you stop and grab a coffee? Awesome, right? Take the picture of the coffee. Are you eating a nice bowl of soup? Oh, that soup looks so good, right? They're like whatever is literally in real time happening with you, little glimpses so that people can really like increase that feeling like they know you, right? So they'll see your face pop up and they're like, oh, I know that girl. We have the same favorite soup. How awesome, right? Like I totally connect to her because we have the same kind of dog. We read the same types of books. We're into the same show. Whatever the case may be, whatever it is that kind of makes them begin to gravitate towards you. So stories are something that are the most neglected, in my personal opinion, from anyone that I've worked with, whether my own teams or personal clients. They're the thing that gets ignored the most. However, they are super powerful. They have this very special place in the algorithm. Your story is not going to help you grow. You're not going to attract a follower. You're not going to attract a new friend request out of a story. It's just not designed to do that. But what you do get from stories is a really heightened visibility placing with the algorithm. So every time somebody interacts with your story, right? Like up at the top and they're on their phone and they're like, all right, and they're watching stories. Every time somebody interacts with your story, that sends a trigger message to the algorithm that that person wants to see more of you. So guess what starts to happen? They start to see your posts. They start to see your group posts. They start to see your business page. Anything tied to that main serial number that you were given when you signed up on the platform. Your stories influence who sees what that serial number creates greater than anything else on the platform, with the exception of Reels. We're going to cover Reels soon. They're just a little bit more complex. They're not scary, but they're a little bit more complex. So when I am talking with a client, right, or I'm taking somebody on and I'm trying to really like come up with a strategy for them, one of the things that I usually will ask is, how many stories do you post every day? And a lot of times it's 0, or like once a week, or oh, I never really think of it. So I want to give you a couple of quick tips on how you can make sure that you get stories up there, and also kind of give you your target of what you're looking for. Your bare minimum for stories should be 5. Absolute smallest amount of stories in any 24-hour cycle. Your maximum for stories should really cap out at about 13. I know, that's wild, right? So I'm going to give you some quick tips about how you can get all 13 in there. Do I myself get 13 in every day? No, I will own it. Same reasons as in the other videos. Life happens. I'm human. I get tired. I'm in too many directions. My day is too busy, whatever the case may be. The beautiful thing with stories is that it resets itself every single 24 hours. So you can literally tank your stories today, right? And then tomorrow crush it on your stories and capture all of the increased visibility that came from it. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Say you have a good run and you max out your stories for 3 or 4 days, and then you're super busy that weekend and you just don't get them in there. You don't lose the people that are seeing you, and the next day you can pick right back up and continue to gain that visibility traction. They're really powerful. They're very underrated, and they're not given enough credit. In most recent stats, over 60% of everybody on Facebook only watches stories now, right? They've been slowly conditioned through other platforms, whether it's Snapchat or TikTok or, right? They've been kind of given this new culture where instead of like scrolling, I can just kind of watch them like little mini episodes, right? They're like little mini episodes of everybody I like's lives. That's so cool. They're 15 seconds long, right? They're great for that short attention span that we're building into our society. They go by quick. And if that's boring, you can like super fast click through them, right? Faster than you can get through like actually scrolling your news feed. A lot of people have gotten so consumed in stories and reels that they don't go to the feed anymore. So you're missing a lot of opportunity, not just for visibility, but a lot of opportunity in general if you're neglecting to utilize your stories the best way that you can. So we already said 5 minimum, 13 maximum, right? Those are like your ranges for where you want to go. The 5 itself in the minimum, it might sound overwhelming, right? Because we've been giving you these like incremented lists. We're like, all right, we're going to have a minimum of 4 in our group and 3 on our wall. And now it's 5 in the stories. Don't get overwhelmed. The great thing about stories is stories are completely a place that you can repurpose and regenerate any of your content that is going out someplace else. So if you're doing 3 main wall posts today, all 3 of those should appear in your story. And then they get like 2 bonus posts, right? It's like bonus behind the scenes, or like a blooper reel would be, right? Like that's really what it is. You like kind of, when you go and do your first post in your main wall, immediately replicate it in your story. Then in about an hour or so, if you're going to try to get the maximum, in about an hour or so, get up there, drop something else in your story. In an hour, drop something else in your story. Do not put your stories closer than an hour together. That's not going to benefit you. Cramming out 13 stories in 45 minutes isn't going to hit your mark for you. You want them spaced at least an hour apart in an ideal scenario. The only time you'll find that I don't personally follow that rule is if it's a cooking post, right? And it's like this step, then this step, then this step. I'm not going to make you wait an hour to find out that my cookies went in the oven. That's foolish. Those, put them closer together because it makes like a logical sense. But just remember that like you need to still, like an hour later after those cookies came out of the oven, you need to get back in there and then show them off, right? So why does this help you? Why does this like boost this visibility? It's because when people are going through stories, they're very likely to end up on yours, right? And if you have the newest story out of everyone, yours is at the front. And that's why we use that hour spacing, because you want to stay as close to the front. You know, when you open up your Facebook on your phone, right, and the stories are right at the top, and they're always in like this, it looks randomized order. They're not randomized at all. They're who are you connected to and who's the most recent to post a story. So if every hour you're back there, you become like first and forefront. People are going to start seeing your story. Like every time they open the phone, you're right in front of them. That is huge for your visibility. If there's somebody that is at this point been conditioned to just go and cycle through stories, well, they're going to start at the beginning, right? So your stuff's going to get seen. And then when they go back in their phone a little while later, you already have another story up. You're going to get seen again. And each time somebody is interacting with that story, it's sending a little trigger message to the algorithm. Johnny liked Jenny's post. Johnny watched Jenny's story. Johnny likes to see what Jenny's doing on the internet, and the algorithm starts pulling your pieces of content into Johnny's feed, or Susie, or Jane. Use whatever names you want to use, right? I know a lot of us market more so to women, but like that's how you like pull that down and maximize that for yourself. So in addition to repurposing any of your content, you can also take anything that is in your group, if it's non-brand specific. Don't make your personal story a billboard for your business. You have a business page, and your business page has stories, and we're going to work on how to really market inside stories down the road, but you make this about knowing you better. But if you have an engagement or an interaction or an inspirational, right, something like that came out of your group, repurpose that into your story. There's no reason why that can't be in there. People love an inspiring message, and people that aren't in your group, they're going to start like seeing this amazingness you give your group, right? Right. And you could even put like a little caption, like, you know, my inspiration for my group today. That might prompt a conversation where somebody says, what's this group you keep talking about, right? After they see it pop up over and over again. Or, you know, my group's personal inspirational message of the day, something like that, right? You can type in the little captions. your engagement, right? Where you have that call to CTA, your call to action, where they're expressing their opinion, right? We did like brownies with nuts or without, hard shell, soft shell taco. Put that in your story. Whatever you used in your group that day, right? Because your people have already seen it. So like that, you're done with that piece of content now. Recycle it into your story and set up a poll. Learn the stickers. It's the little square and the top button. I hope that everybody knows what they are. And if you don't, get in there and start playing with them. Make polls, make questions, add music, right? Add gifts, add stickers, make them cutesy, play with the colorings, add fonts, change the fonts, learn all those aspects of your stories, make them really exciting. Think of it like building your own like baby mini series of just like all the ways that you're awesome. Are you motivational? Are you inspirational? Are you super duper fun? Are you excellent at baking cookies? Do you go outside? Do you stay inside? Do you like the sky? Was this flower that you saw walking down the road in the springtime pretty? Right? They're just all things that show the world through your eyes to your people, and they make you extra relatable. So I hope that this has made some little like light bulbs go off, right? And we're all like, oh my gosh, I need to get stories making me visible, and I can totally fill my story with a ton of fun stuff, right? Get excited about it, get creative with it, have fun with it is the most important advice I can give. You will dread your stories if you make them a chore. If you make your stories fun, you will enjoy making them and they won't feel burdensome, and you'll be able to reap all the rewards as it's pulling your content into the people that interacted with your stories feed. So I hope that you found this helpful. If you think that any of these topics that we've been covering or topics that we're going to cover down the road are helpful to anyone, add them into the group. I'm going to leave the group open as free coaching for just a little while longer. I am going to close it. I'm deciding what my cap off number is going to be. So if you've got somebody, you really want to help them out, right? You really want to do like that kindness thing. You want to be like, girl, come learn from this. I'm learning a bunch of stuff that never dawned on me. If it is helpful to you, let it be helpful to somebody else while it's still open. That's people can get in here and get all of the coaching for free. I love you ladies bunches. Have an amazing evening. And if you find this helpful, if you have some stroke of genius that comes from it, drop a comment, right? Come in, post from us, share your success. We love to do that. I can't wait to see everything you create.